Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Versus System 2-player card game unboxing. This is for Marvel set Freedom Force. So this is part of Volume 3, overall set number 8 pack. This is the Omega level series storyline. So this is part 2 of 3 in that series. The Omega level story arc continues, giving you the opportunity to recruit questionable tactics of Mystique's Brotherhood of Mutants. Embrace the reformed roster of ruffians like Pyro and Avalanche as you attempt to bring law and order to the world of mutants by any means necessary. So this is when Mystique took various villain characters, a lot of them were Brotherhood characters. They became Freedom Force, worked for the government. This is before even X Factor with the government, with Havoc and Polaris started. Yeah, they're trying to like reduce their sentences and stuff and stay out of jail. It's kind of an interesting time in comic books. So yeah, we're gonna get more Brotherhood team characters. And then the first set of the Omega arc was Days of Future Past. So you have the Dark Timeline with the Sentinels, and then the third arc will be the Omega level mutants, which are only Omega level mutants. So that's kind of the interesting one because they're their own team. Alright, so let's hop in here and see what we have. To start off, we have our first main character. We have Avalanche. So Fault Line. Excuse me. Enemy players can't play location space up their next turn, and it's all your fault. Level up 3. When a resource appears face down on an enemy's side, Avalanche gains an XP. So yeah, he gets some boosts up, and then he jumps into his higher level, goes from 2 to 5 hit points, up to 5 to 8. Not hit points, attacking defense. He has Hate Tectonics. For the rest of the game, when you play a resource, you may KO an enemy resource. Avalanche may only use this power once this game. It's a weird way to word that. I'm guessing so it means that you can't. They probably put that so you don't think you can double it up and like, oh, so every time I play it once, I have 2 instances of it. But yeah, it's just kind of fun. It's also an interesting version of Avalanche. So our next up is we have Mystique, who is that's the more recognizable version of Avalanche in the back there. But we have Raven Darkholm here. A palette of possibilities. Build. Put a +1/+1 counter on Mystique equal to the number of different team affiliations on supporting characters on your side. So she can't gain Brotherhood because she has that, but she gains more points if you include X-Men and Fantastic Four and villains and everybody else. It's kind of an interesting thing. Paint with a broad brush. Level up 4. When you recruit a character, Mystique gains 1 XP for each of its printed team affiliations it doesn't share with other characters on your side. So for her to level up, you're going to need 4 other characters. Which is kind of interesting because that means you can't level her up by playing her as a main character in this set. Unless there's, a little way around that. But she goes from 3-4 attack defense up to 6 and 8. And she gains combat mastery. When Mystique is in combat, enemy players can't play plot twists. And the perfect metamorph. I'm going to zoom in on that one a little bit more. Choosing enemy character. Mystique loses her name and team affiliation and gains that character's names and team affiliations until she is stunned. If she would be stunned when she has chosen a character's name, randomly either stun her or the chosen character instead. Ooh, so there's like a chance that you could stun your opponents instead. Alright, then our third new main character is Pyro. Pyro to the people. Main, name a character. For the rest of the game, supporting characters with that name will in your hand, deck, or on your side have burn notice. This character would strike a defending supporting character. It may burn instead. And then fanning the flames. Level up. When a character on When an enemy character gets stunned by being burned, Pyro gains 1 XP. So it kind of like helps them by burning people. So 1 to 6 up to 3 to 10. Doesn't have a lot of attack, but he has burn. Trailblazer. Search your deck for a character who can burn in its game text. Reveal it, put it into your hand. Sick burn, combat, burn defending main character. Alright, so we're going to look at a couple of rules here before we jump any farther. We have Mystique. You may choose a face down character. If the chosen character would be stunned by perfect metaphor, it is already stunned. Nothing happens. Neither it nor Mystique gets stunned. If the chosen character is not in play when Meek would be stunned, she gets stunned. If the perfect metaphor allows Mystique to avoid getting stunned, that effect remains active. In other words, a single-use power could prevent several stuns by Mystique. Even if the effect is active, Mystique can use it again to change to a different thing. And then Pyro here, so his level 2 Trailblazer power does allow him to search for characters he had given burn notice to with his level 1 Pyro to the people. So, that's the other one I looked at. Search your deck. So, if you use that first one and you give a bunch of different characters that ability, even if you haven't played them yet, you can now search for all of them. Then, the other thing we wanted to see is what burn did. When a character assigns burns another character, that means at the start of each of your turns you stun that character. Your turn refers to the player whose character caused the burn effect, not the character who received the burn. So there's no this effect has no set duration. It will last until the character that is burning leaves play. So yeah, it's kind of neat. So you burn someone at the beginning of every one of your turns. They're automatically stunned, so they can't do anything on your turn. Alright, let's jump into our first supporting characters. All supporting characters will have 4 copies, unless otherwise noted. So I'm not going to put up all 4 of them. But first up, we have Destiny. Precognition. You may look at the top card of the enemy deck at any time. Lorelei. Hypnotic Singing. When Lorelei enters combat, you may give an enemy character in the combat -2 attack, -1 attack defense, or -2 defense. We have Blind Spot. Memory Theft. Main. Choosing an enemy supporting character. Blind Spot could melee attack. Choose one that enemy character's base attack, defense, or health becomes 1 this turn. And lots of enemies have 1 health, but to definitely take out some of the higher cost ones. Vanisher. I love the old school artwork for them. At least that's one that I'm going to say. If they're not going to use all brand new drawing art for these cards and just use stuff from the comic books, I like at least they mix current stuff and old stuff. Like, this is like a really old one, like when he first fought the X-Men. Versus like that Mystique one. Like, you see the Mystique now one, it had 2 different artworks. They didn't just try and all take them from the exact same book or only use just current artwork. So at least you're going to reuse art. Let's make it interesting. So here's Vanish. Combat. Cancel the combat, and you may move Vanisher to another row on your side. Astra. So yeah, this is more current artwork. This is probably 2000s, but the first recruit. You pay 3 less to recruit Astra if you haven't recruited any supporting characters this game. Ooh, so if you get her right away, she only costs 1. Cloning technology. Cloning enemy supporting character. Do we have a thing that specifies what clone does? I do not. Let's just think there's a keyword. Does she have a rules thing? She probably does. Yeah. Alright. So we have to create a clone, put a token copy of chosen character into your side. That copy is all the printed statistics of that character, unless nothing else. But nothing else. It appears face up and does not appear with any counters or status effects. Uniqueness token does not apply. So it just has attack, attack, team costs, attacking, defense, health, and powers. And then blind spot challenge regular. Sets the character's base to 1. If that character has a wound, it will get KO'd. How crazy is that? And then Destiny, we didn't look at hers. The player would draw 2 or more cards at a time, including their draw phase. But you look at the top card of the deck before and after each individual draw. In other words, you just see each card they draw. So yeah, you can't just skip through there. Alright, then we have Black Tom Cassidy. Plant growth. When a location with a energy or strength symbol appears on your side, put 3+1 counters on Black Tom. Plant form. Double Black Tom's current attack or defenseless combat. He gains his power any number of times each turn. Basically, you can play stuff to make him more powerful and then double it. Alright, then of course we have Rogue. Permanent power absorption. When Rogue KOs an enemy's supporting character and survives, she adds its printed attack, defense, health, and keyword and superpowers to her own till she leaves play. Then she loses this power. She starts off with only 1 health though. So let's look at her rules here quick as well. Permanent power absorption works like this. Rogue gains, she gains the stats. She also gains the character's printed keywords and superpowers. However, once Rogue absorbs the stats or power from a character, she loses permanent power absorption. Aha. So she gains it once, but then she loses all those abilities, so she can't keep using it over and over and over. So she KOs someone, she becomes just as powerful. So, like, a good example would be if she KO'd Black Tom Cassidy, if she adds a printed attack, so she'd have 4, 5, 6, 7. She'd become a 7/10 ranged character with 3 health with plant growth and plant form, but she no longer has permanent power absorption. So she can't hit another guy and keep becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think part of this is to show that it's supposed to represent, like, when she absorbed Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers' powers. She only did that once. The only time she ever permanently took someone's powers for a long time. And also because, you know, oh, she'd be a beef. She'd be too beefy. We have Post. Techno-organic virus. When Post appears, if Cable is on your side, put a vitality counter on each of them. So that's kind of interesting. Scarlet Witch. So maybe she got missed in the original Brotherhood. That's just some of these are Freedom Force. Some are maybe characters that missed in a different version of the Brotherhood. Or a different Brotherhood that Mystique worked on. So we have Chaos Magic. Put a -1/-1 counter on a random face-up enemy equal to its cost or level. Scarlet Witch may use this power any number of times on your turn. That's pretty powerful. We have Alpha. Alpha will be our last character. The Ultimate Mutant. At the start of your main phase, Alpha randomly gains 2 of the following powers, and he doesn't have until he leaves play. Dodge, Ferocious, Genius, Lethal, Regeneration, and Tough. And just to go over what all those are, Dodge, character can't be ranged attack. Ferocious, when in melee combat, character strikes before characters without Ferocious. Genius, start of your turn, draw a card. Lethal, if this character wounds a defending supporting character, KO it. Regeneration, at the start of your turn, heal a wound from this character. And Tough, character gets stunned, you may recover it. So yeah, a bunch of different stuff there. Alright, then we do have a one-of-a-kind item. So this is a Brotherhood item. We have the Helm of Immunity, which is kind of neat. It's Magneto's helmet, but it works for multiple characters that have helmets. So you may only have 1 copy of this card in your deck, so you only get 1 copy in this deck. The iconic headgear, you pay 2 less to equip to Juggernaut, Magneto, or Onslaught. So it's free for one of them because they have iconic helmets. And special defense, when you equip this, choose a power symbol. Enemy players can't use powers of that type. So you can shut off like mental like one of the colored symbols. So that's actually kind of cool. Then we have our plot twist. We have 4 copies of Boiling Point. If the total attack of an enemy's attackers in this combat is exactly equal to the defense of the defender on your side, stunning attacker. And then finally, our last one, which I have also 4 copies of, is another Brotherhood one called Brotherhood. Ready exactly 2 exhausted face-up characters on your side who share a team affiliation. Then there's a little bit of rule text for that. When you play Brotherhood, there must be 2 exhausted face-up characters that share or nothing happens. So you can't just play it for the sake of playing it. You have to. I mean, you could, just nothing's gonna happen. That's interesting. And then we have, I'll zoom out a little bit. We have the deck list, just in case you wanted to keep an eye on that. Alright, so that's the Brotherhood. So that can add into some of the Brotherhoods from the other previous Brotherhood deck to make some more characters. Mix and match with some of the X-Men, like we have the one guy that works with Cable. Post works with Cable. Yeah, definitely some interesting stuff there. So there's Freedom Force. Alright, see you guys in the next video. Bye.